Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka and I am talking very quietly so I don't wake up my child.
She's practicing the ASMR.
I'm not.
I'm Tommy T, by the way.
He gonna be the one to wake her up.
Yeah, probably.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 15. That episode is titled Whiskey a No-No. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Man, we saw everybody this episode. Except for Dr. Pia.
Yeah, that is true.
Dr. Pepper, Pastor Cal, and DeVon Franklin. Anywho, who did I write the least about? Let's go with Clint and Gina.
I laugh because I've wrote the least about Nicole and Chris and Clint and Gina so many times this season. Who do we write the least about? Nicole and Chris. Who do we write the least about? Clint and Gina.
Clint made catfish po' boys while they ate moonshine pickles. And I was like, that's something my brother would do.
Moonshine pickles.
Do you remember the Christmas my brother and sister sat up and ate moonshine pickles at my mom's house?
I do not remember.
It's because you were ignoring us.
I wasn't ignoring you.
Sure.
Why do you think that?
Because you do.
I don't ignore you.
Yep. He says he cooks for others as his way of spending time and energy. I think he said energy, but I know he definitely said time with them.
He cooks with love.
Yep. I said, Gina says the right thing in the confessional about spending time together before decision day. Gina do not want this man. And I don't know why we still pretending like Gina want this man.
I think she does, though.
She is, even if she does, she's not going to allow herself to want him. So she don't want him. So Dr. Pepper came and saw them and told them that they need to kick it up a notch. And they said that they still feel friend zone with each other. And she said, well, friends love each other. I was like, you right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
She asks, what do you like and what will make you feel cared for? Gina says she wants the support of knowing she's doing a good job. So Gina needs positive affirmations. Gina is my 3-year-old. Clint says he would like for someone to do something specifically for him, which he likes acts of service. Dr. Pepper suggested that Gina cook dinner. Gina was like, nah, Clint do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing she's gonna miss when they go back to not being roommates.
I don't think she probably recognizes that Clint cooks way better than she does, and he likes to do it. Mm-hmm. And she's gotten to the point where she's like, I don't really like to cook, but if I have to, I will. But Clint does it. Mm-hmm. I think she likes him, and it's one of those things she's struggling with because she's not supposed to like him because of what he said. And for her, it's in her brain, it's computing, no. But in her heart, she's like, this man is what I need. Because of the thing that she was like, Hank is her baby, right? And Hank has basically adopted, not Hank, but Clint has basically, hey, I'm Hank's dad.
Hank was like, you my daddy.
So
you feed me and you play with me.
Right.
Dad.
You take me on walks.
Dad.
But it's
when they go back to the apartment, he's gonna be like,
right. But it's like you think about like her thing. She was not supposed to like Hank. Not Hank, but Clint. And now she's like, oh, I actually like him. Okay. How can I do the bare minimum because I'm not supposed to like him? And I think that's where she is now. I think I don't know. Like I like this part because it can swing one way or the other with them. You don't think so, but I do.
It could swing for decision date, but it ain't gonna make it beyond that.
Look, this is what told me that she likes him. If she didn't like him, when she was eating that moonshine pickle, she gave him a bite. Not I'm gonna break it off, but here. With COVID,
they in each other's faces.
I'm just saying, it's like I'm not.
She got way more of a risk of getting COVID than he does.
I'm saying, just with situational awareness, a person you like, you ain't just feeding them no food off that you eating and then gonna go back and eat again. Well, at least I'm not.
I don't want to share my food with nobody.
I don't like sharing my stuff with my kids.
I shared a strawberry with Quad yesterday, and I was like,
"You can have this.
You have disrespected this strawberry."
Yeah,
yuck.
So, I don't know. I think, as Steve Urkel used to say to Laura, "I'm wearing you down." That's what I think Clint is doing to Gina, and she's gotten so used to being single that she does not know how to be in a relationship. And it's like, oh, we can do that. Oh, we should do that. Because even when they were sitting with Dr. Pepper, she was like, we never verbalize these things.
She was like, you're a good dog, Dad.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you like a single person, dating doesn't have to say those things, even though somebody's doing something for them or showing up, right? But dating a person, you don't have to say those things. But being in a relationship with a person, and I don't even want to take it as far as being married, but just being in a relationship with a person, sometimes those things have to come out. Or those in conversation, those things come out. So, I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see their trajectory.
Last thing Dr. Pepper gives for them is to watch a movie to make them open up emotionally. And she suggested Driving Miss Daisy. Now, I haven't seen Driving Miss Daisy in a long time, but I don't remember that movie making me emotionally available.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe I'll go back and watch it and see. Probably not anytime soon, but. All right. So do you have anything else for them?
No.
That was such a dramatic no. Next up, Nicole and Chris. So, Nicole and Chris sit down and have the weirdest conversation. Chris asks her, is there something that he isn't doing? Which is cool. That's a nice check-in, right? Yeah. But then she was like, basically, I want you to infringe on my alone time.
Yeah, I thought that was a setup. I was like, I have a wife that asks for a long time.
And if you infringe on it, I'm angry.
Yeah. Like Hulk smash mad.
Right.
And I was like, that's a setup, man. Just give her time. If she wants to sit in the living room with you, tell her, now that's okay for you to sit in the living room and talk through your feelings. But let that be something that she decides to do, not something that you invite her to do, because it's an infringement if she asks for a long time.
I was just like, what are you asking for, Nicole? Because Chris was like, so you want to be alone, but you want me to interrupt it? Like,
yeah, it's what? Just so you don't want to be alone, ma'am.
I was like, I don't get it. You're lying.
I think she is just really struggling with finding herself throughout this process, because this process should help you find yourself, but also she's struggling. She likes him and he likes her, but she's like, how far can I push him? You know,
she even said that later on with Pastor Cal.
Did she?
Yeah, when she was
I didn't get to
like,
see that part.
Oh, okay. we'll get to that then.
Yeah.
I wrote, she is confusion. Nicole and Kirsten go lingerie shopping, and Kirsten gave her some affirmations about loving herself. And then she gave her a tutorial in a sexy walk. Did you see that part?
Yeah, that was so awkward.
And a twirl to do for Chris.
And the robe dropped.
I was like,
stop this. Stop this right now.
What are we doing here, guys? But Kirsten might have a future in teaching women to gain confidence. Be like, you too can be a baddie. Maybe she needs to talk to Meg the Stallion and do something for the hotties. Yeah. As a class.
That could be something. That could work out some way.
So Pastor Cal comes and talks to Nicole and Chris about their journey thus far. And she tells them that part of her can't get over the fact that Chris didn't pick her. And Pastor Cal was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I mean, you guys picked him for me. He didn't pick me. And he's like, he told us what he wanted and you were it.
Yeah.
Like, you fit everything that he said that he wanted. He picked you, just not in the conventional sense. And I was like, if you're just going to sabotage this just for the sake of self-sabotaging, you're well on your way. Because asking him every day, does he love you, was annoying, which we haven't seen that play out, but I'm sure it's still happening.
Yeah. Well, he said he loves her this episode, so I don't guess she had to ask that question anymore.
Mm-hmm. And Chris was basically like, the relationship's not one-sided, because that was a question that Pastor Cal had from what Nicole was saying.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
No, it's for them, I just feel like Chris is having to show up a lot more than she is having to show up for him. Like, it's a lot of, I have to cater to her feelings and subside, which he seems to be built for that. Which seems
It's my high school English teacher used to say, you are not in this film.
he seems to be built that way. Mm-hmm. And so it's just she has to get that under control. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's therapy that she needs to go to, she needs to go. Mm-hmm. But it's her that needs to fix it.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna have to also believe what people are telling her.
Right. Like, and that's the thing. It's putting more pressure on Chris because he has to figure out how to support it. Mm-hmm. And that's a struggle in itself, So there you have it.
Second kid is now awake. Do you want to do Kirsten and Shaquille next or Jasmine and Arris?
We can go Kirsten and Shaquille since we were talking about support.
All right. So Kirsten goes to the gym to work out, and Married at First Sight would make us believe that she was getting an incoming FaceTime from Shaquille's mom. But as she was talking, she was like, I called to talk to you about...
I didn't even notice that.
I did.
I did not notice that.
So his mom tells Kirsten that she isn't supporting Shaquille in the way that he needs to be supported, and that she wishes that Kirsten would have come to Memphis with him. Basically, they try to get through that at the through the gym conversation, and things seem to be cool. And then they do a whiskey tasting as a group.
Yeah.
At the whiskey tasting, I'm trying to find my notes because I did those separately before I knew what was going to happen.
Oh,
yeah. They talk about the conversations that they had as the husbands versus the wives.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's feelings about Arris. And then Clint and Chris both mentioned that they lost a friend to, what's the YouTube word I'm supposed to use? Unaliving themselves. You know, and Clint was like, I wish I would have known. And Shaquille was like, hey, I was that guy. I went through that very, he didn't say recently, but he was like, I went through that. And, you know, things have gotten overwhelming for me, and I fought some internal battles. And then I decided to go to therapy. At the ending of his spiel, Kirsten didn't say anything. Nicole jumped in and was like, well, you have an amazing wife who I'm sure, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is there for you. And Shaquille got up and walked out because he was basically like, somebody else had to say it for you. Like, you couldn't be like, I'm here for you. And that upset him.
I think at that part, and DeVon Franklin said it when they sat down and talked to him.
Her kisses are so just random.
Just random as I don't know what. He said it to him like he can't diminish her support, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I want to take it a step further. Or my thought in that moment was, well, she don't know how to support you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's okay to ask that because it's almost as if I'm asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, how do I support you? What does support look like to you?
And I get it because he said, or Shaquille said that she didn't come to Memphis with him. And she's like, but I went to Jackson with you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but that was once and we were freshly married. And I'm like, it's been 6 weeks. How many times do I have to go to a work event with you?
Right.
Through the duration of a marriage. And I was like, when you quantify it in that way, it's like, what does support look like to you?
Right.
Because it has to be quantified in some type of way.
Right.
Kirsten is kind of like, the quality of the support was there. I didn't know you and I went to Jackson.
Yeah.
But you're like, you only went to Jackson.
Right. And, you know, we found out something else. When he was in Memphis, he found out he wasn't graduating on time.
Mm-hmm.
And I related that back to us when I was in school for my master's. I get it. I get the support that he was looking for in that moment because when I found out, I wasn't like I needed to take a class over and it's going to push me back a semester. That was tough. That was a real tough thing for me. And luckily I had you there to talk through it and you know, and stuff like that. And even when I graduated, I was lucky to be able to have you to lean on to celebrate with me because we got a degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we earned our master's degree. And so it's that kind of support I get, right? It's not something you can explain or anything like that, but it's just there.
Right.
So his issue with support is the fact that he needs it, but he needs it a certain type of way
to feel it.
Right.
And that's something that he's going to have to get through.
Yeah.
Y'all are struggling over here.
Both of us.
You got anything else for them?
I like what DeVon was saying about it may not have been them.
What DeVon said to them was that they have to stop creating a narrative because that can hurt their marriage.
Right.
And that they need to create the same plan
He
together.
talked about the unspoken expectations are relationship killers. And I think that's so true. I think that's that's great advice. It's like, hey, that's what I mean by like talk about ask for help. Ask, hey, what do you need from me? You know, those questions are okay because if you genuinely don't know, then you don't know. Mm-hmm. So I think that was awesome advice from him. I think he showed out this episode.
He did. He did a great job.
He definitely did.
So what's that leave us? Jasmine and Arris?
Yeah.
So, they get to see two experts because obviously this ain't working.
They need some help. Help it. Help me, Jesus.
Working.
Help me, Jesus.
So with DeVon, Jasmine talks about the breakthrough that she had the day before with the girls. And then he asked if she had shared with Arris what she shared with the other ladies. She says that she feels that she and Arris are compatible. I'm sorry, my words keep moving. But she doesn't believe that he thinks that too. She mentions that she feels she hasn't had a lot of trauma like he has. So when they're talking like through these things to dive deeper, there's not a lot of depth for her because she's like she hasn't been through things.
And it's like I don't if you can't relate, right? And you're trying to understand somebody, why is it so hard to engage in the conversation? Like, because it's unless it's a conversation that constantly comes up, there should be some type of engagement in learning. Well, how did that affect you? How did you work through it? How did you do this? How did you do that? But I guess that was in the beginning. And she's talking about a point in time now where they were doing Dr. Pepper's questions and she was just uninterested in everything. So that may be... Answer my own question. Like, look at that.
She did share about her getting bullied, and he tells her that she needs to not worry about Arris's response, but have the confidence and courage to speak with him and share her truth.
When he said that, I thought about Will Smith and this Red Table Talk that he did with Jada, and he was like, I can't make her happy. Her happy is her happy. That's what I thought about in that instance. It's like, she was afraid of his response. Like, nobody wants to hear no. And especially from their spouse. But he was saying that she can't be concerned with his answer because how does that change you? Or how does that affect you? You didn't do anything wrong. That's his feeling. How do you feel about, whatever it is that you were asking? So that I get that part. That's why
I was really trying to figure out how you was going to relate this to Will Smith. I thought you were talking about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
No.
When you brought it in. Yeah. It was just when you started.
Not the Fresh Prince. Right. The real Willard Smith.
When you started, I was like, all right now.
I can talk about the slap.
Okay. So
go right ahead.
DeVon then talks to Arris, and he dives right into the conversation of physical attraction. He starts off with, tell me what's appealing about Jasmine. He was like, she has multiple businesses, and DeVon asked him if he wants to become attracted to her. And then he says, you weren't going to reach.
I wasn't.
That's petty.
I didn't think he wanted me.
He asked him if he was putting in the same effort into his marriage as he would into his job. And Arris, in so many words, was like, nah, that ain't going to happen. Like, period. So he was... Basically, what I heard was, I'm never going to put as much effort into a relationship as I would my job. Because my job don't pay the bills.
That's definitely what he just said.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the same sentence twice. He says he wants all the things in life that are like partnership and, love and marriage and family and all those things. And DeVon is like, ta-da, you have that. And he like, but no, not like that though. Arris can't get past whatever it is about Jasmine's physicality that he doesn't like. DeVon asks Arris to verbalize his commitment to Jasmine and to not have any regrets after decision day. Because Arris was basically like, I don't want to like look up 6 months later and be like, dang, I should have done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I always wonder though, like, people give these hard no's on decision day that should be, I'm going to leave the door open. Because I think that, you know how they say that when the cameras go down, you can really figure this thing out?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's way too much pressure, or Arris is putting too much pressure on how he's going to appear on camera. And that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
So they go to this whiskey tasting. They have a line dance instructor, and that line dance instructor teaches them this dance, and then Arris starts dancing with the instructor. Jasmine gets pissed off and storms out. They come back to the house, and like they leave the whiskey tasting facility and the line dance and everything. And from there, they have I don't want to call it an argument, but it was an argument outside of the distillery. And then they go back to the house, and apparently they're not talking to each other when they get back to the house. Jasmine appears to have slept in the bed alone. Arris slept on the couch. I thought they had a 2-bedroom apartment, so I don't know why he slept on the couch. Bless you. I don't know why he slept on the couch and not in the other room. Dr. Pepper comes by the next day after the fight, and she talks to Jasmine about coping with conflict. Arris feels like Jasmine stormed out and caused the scene. And I was like,
and it was unwarranted.
Did it cause a scene though? And the reason I say did it cause a scene is because it's like she just left out.
She tried to cause a scene.
But I'm saying, but it didn't. Like, the other couples were kind of like...
They continued dancing.
What happened to them? Like, it wasn't like, what's wrong with her? It was like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Like, they both disappeared. So, I don't know. I don't feel like... I don't think that she intended to cause a scene in the inside, because I think that Jasmine is fully capable of causing a scene.
Not like you causing a scene. Like, if you wanted to cause a scene, you'll cause a scene. Her causing the scene is, I'm going to cuss a little bit and I'm going to storm out. I'm mad.
And I'm like, if we gonna cause a scene, we gonna cause a scene.
You gonna shut this whole place down.
Everybody's gonna be like, what happened? And I mean, everybody. Right. The line dance instructor might apologize to me like, I didn't mean it. I was just doing my job.
I am so sorry.
if I'm going to cause a scene.
Right.
So I guess I just didn't feel like what she did was causing a scene. She left.
She tried.
You felt like she tried to cause a scene. Okay, I'll give you that then.
She tried to express emotion in that moment that he gets it.
She expressed enough emotion that he came outside. Now, I think that the outside conversation could be scene worthy, because if I was pulling up and I saw them outside, like talking to each other like that, I would step to the side and listen.
You just nosy, man.
I'm nosy for my own benefit. Don't I tell you that all the time? But, yeah, I didn't feel like it was a scene. But I mean, that's me personally. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like it was a scene because I know scenes.
Yeah. You know how to do a scene, man.
I don't act like I've caused a lot of scenes in this relationship.
Not a lot, but when you do, I can tell you, they are noteworthy. It's one in particular that I'm just like the first scene I ever seen you call.
Oh. I thought you was talking about with you, but
no, just period.
It wasn't with you at all.
Just period. That was one of those "you sure" moments. You sure this is what you want, man?
It was. I wanted all the smoke. Oh, do you feel like it was unwarranted?
No, I feel like she did what she was supposed to do in that moment.
Okay.
Like, because this dude, for him to say I was the worst dancer, I was like, you knowing the temperature in your relationship, this is a time for you guys to bond on your terrible dancing.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, you bring the group, right? You and your wife go to the instructor. You don't just go to the instructor. You know, I thought about us in that situation. Us in that situation, it'll probably be dancer. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you're a trained dancer.
Right. It'll probably be okay if I did that.
Yeah, it would be. I wouldn't be upset. Yeah, in our situation, it would have absolutely been okay for you to dance with the instructor. I would have been like, give me another whiskey drink. Not necessarily a shot. Just give me a drink, make it a double.
It'll have been okay. And it'll have been an understanding there. But it'll also been well, come on. I would have been like dancing with you. Like my intention would have been dancing with you. Because if you notice, everybody else danced with their spouse. Like Shaq had lassoed Kirsten in, and Clint did his thing, and Nicole and Chris was doing their thing, and then here's Arris dancing with the instructor while his wife got her arms folded, standing behind them.
How?
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper was like, are y'all done?
I'm glad she asked that too. I am so glad she asked that.
I was like, it's 10 days left. Y'all can tell her that she's done. She was like, just admit it. I said, just admit it. It ain't working.
Yeah.
Like, we see all of the potential of how this should work, but we are not factoring in human behavior.
My thing is, stop. My thing is, in 10 days, what do you do to get a yes out of both of you guys? Because that's what it takes.
Mm-hmm. She says she's hoping to feel more like a wife than a friend, and they have to develop habits of connection. One of the things that was interesting to me with the habits of connection was Jasmine was like, I text him throughout the day and he never texts me first. And Dr. Pepper was like, you need to set an alarm, essentially, to be like, it's 2:00. I'm going to text my wife.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, man, me and Artieka text. We be in the same room. We text each other every day. Mm-hmm. For the last 6 years, I've at least talked to you once a day.
Yeah.
Or 7 years. No, last 10. Yep. How long have we been together?
10 years in August.
Yeah. So the last 10 years, I've talked, text, or saw you every day.
And some days, all of those things.
Yeah.
No, in the beginning of our relationship.
There was a word.
We were, okay. In the beginning of our relationship, we were both working, full-time jobs outside of the home. And all we had was texting during the day until we both got off work, which we weren't seeing each other on some days until like 10:00 at night.
Yeah.
Things have definitely evolved since then.
Oh, for sure.
But here's an evolution right here. But I never felt like, I gotta text him every day first. A lot of the times it's just like
I wanted to. This is the person that I was talking to.
Yeah, and it's like, you're also the person I need to tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. Or ask something about the house.
Yeah.
And then they also suggested that they give hugs. Because they're still not touching each other.
They held hands.
Yeah, at the asking of someone else.
That was Clint and Gina with the waffle.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
But they she asked that they hug before they go, or before he leaves to go to work in the morning. And I'm like, it's got to be something. Just figure it out. Because if you lying and saying that you still want to be here, then whatever.
Yeah.
But like, figure this out, because you're not wasting anybody's time but each other's.
Yeah.
And we do know that Jasmine does genuinely want to make this work. We don't know if Arris does or not.
Right. And that's what she needed to hear him say it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And she needed that. So, question for you, or that question for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take for Jasmine and Arris to get a yes in these 10 days? Like, no is not an answer.
Arris has to suck it up and try.
Like, truly, what needs to happen? Like,
he needs to be like I think he needs to court her.
Yeah.
Take her out. Tell her she looks nice. You know, the conversations for niceties need to go beyond what's your favorite position. Because that's the beginning of where he had me messed up. And I'm not even Jasmine.
What's your favorite word?
But that's it. Like, I think that he could find the sweet spot if he tried.
Yeah.
Like, whatever he be doing to get all these girls that he done had sex with, try that. Because I know it's not what he's doing with Jasmine.
Yeah, definitely. I just looked down at him, and so
that's why I had her move.
Get him. Yeah, so I think that's what needs to happen. He needs to just try harder. Talk to her and like you said, court her. Because I think anything gets Jasmine a yes, but it's Arris that's the concern. You know, if he does nothing, both of them says no. If he tries harder, if he courts her, like you said, if he treats her like his wife, they say yes, and they try. They may not make it far after that, but they at least make it to decision day and make a genuine yes answer. So, that's all I got, man.
Thanks for watching our chaotic review, guys.
Yep.
I'm hoping that I can edit this down and it looks less chaotic than it felt.
Join us tomorrow morning for our coffee break, where we talk about this past week's events and stuff that we talk about. Also, our podcast came out this week, so go check that podcast episode out. We talked about the effects of reality TV on marriage, so it's a good conversation we had with that. And look forward to seeing you guys this week and tomorrow morning, and also on Sunday with Jack and Glenn and Talisa Ray. So if that's all you have, like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.